Cads saying bad. Bad, mate. Not to be let back into the institution. And I've tried. I used to go to like the locals and that, me. So if I was in, so I got barred out of there in 2000s, mate, out of that Walton. When I threatened that SO Hague about his house, and I got charged with threats to kill against that SO Hague, it's the last time I was allowed in Walton. Until, yeah, that's the last time. Because I made them threats to kill in 2-4, didn't I? 2-2. Yeah, so that's the last time, lad. Walton. Barred me. I barred from a few jails, actually, lad. Quite a few jails that wouldn't accept me. Loads, actually. Loads of jails that I've landed in prisons, me, lad. Landed on reception. Being in reception, expecting to be inducted into the prison, and I've just been whisked away in a minibus to the next prison along. We're not having you in here, Mr. G. Bang. How have you got to this establishment with your security risk? Bang. It's horrible, mate. And you know when you're buzzing, it's right. Get out of this, go to this gaff, buzzing. You're buzzing to get to a new gaff. Why? Because it breaks your jail up. It's an headache, but it breaks your jail up. You get some jails that are just boring, and I mean, everyone in it's done meds like that, you're on it. And then you can get to jails where you've just got the boys not on no mad substances, all into the gym, all eating well, all talking straight. You don't get that now. That's rare now in the prison system, actually. That's very rare. Every second man's a plant pot in prison, mate. Now I'd say, I wouldn't say every second man, but I'd say every fifth cell. So 1, 2, 3, 5 plant pot, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plant pot, 15 plant pot. Honest to God, I'm not lying. And there could be 2 plant pots in that cell, do you understand? Because they never put a plant pot in with someone that's sane, because it's just, you see it all the time, like, you've got someone that's okay and someone that's not okay being put in the same cell. Within days, mate, it's just gone off. And they're doing that all the time in there now, mate. There's loads of straight-headed lads being forced, and I mean, they're being forced, not physically forced, but psychologically forced to share cells with people that are destroying the mental health on them. You know, when you've got someone that's dealing with crazy mental health issues, and then you put that individual in a confined space 24/7 with someone that hasn't, it's going to rub off. Why? Because even the fact that you've just got to tolerate with his sleeping habits is disturbing your sleeping. The fact that you've got to deal with the way he eats his food and his hygiene and like this impacts on your mental health and your clean. But because you've got someone in your environment his dirtiness is now impacting you psychologically. You're scared to say anything to him in case he goes and gets you snitched up, or even says something to the screw. So you just got to, you go with the screws, get me out of this cell, shut up, get back in your cell, or you're being put on adjudication. For a kid that wants a C-cat and a D-cat, you can't afford to argue with screws. You can't afford to go against the regime, the regulations of the prison, because you get up when it comes to your recategorisation. So if you're a B-cat and you've been progressing to your C-cat, wanting to work towards your D-cat, knowing quite well you've got 3 years left, the sooner you get to the D-cat, the sooner you're free. The things that prevent you getting to your D-cat is violence and adjudications for certain offences. Now, can you imagine being in a cell with a nutter while you're waiting to get your answer on your cat C so you can progress through the prison system to get you the cell out? Now you've got to just bear the off this. You've got to deal with it, and it's been hard. I'm telling you now, it's hard. It's like having a mental patient sleeping on your bunk beds with you. That's what it's like. Horrible, mate. Jail's horrible, people. Doesn't matter our laugh about it. Doesn't matter how I say I handled it. I handled my jail like a soldier because I've been going to jail all my life. I've been locked in all my life. I was being locked in rooms from an early age. Do you understand? So I was able to adapt to that environment 10 times easier than half of the kids that are going in there these days. And let me tell you now, it's horrible, it's nasty, it's dirty, it's dark, it's violent, it's negative, and it's full of homosexuality. Full of it. Don't let no one tell you any different, mate. You can see it on the wings. You see big heads from other areas getting the little bum chums in every day. Getting a chew, sending the bum chum on the way. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it's mad the way you don't believe it. Just mad the way you don't believe what goes on in prison, mate. Think about what I'm saying to you. Think about it. It's there. It was happening in prison before it was happening out in here. Do you understand what I'm saying? Choose a life, not a knife. You know, have a different mindset. Have a different way of conducting yourself. Establish a different character about you. Choose a life, not a knife. And avoid the bad places in life, like that. That's all you got to do. Avoid the bad people and the bad places. Embrace the good people and the good places, and the sooner you start doing that, the earlier. You could be 27, been committing crime last year. You're sick to death of that life, lad, aren't you? I know it. You know it. Why don't you take the badness off, mate, and be good? Instead of being good for 30% of your life, be 100% good. You know, you're probably good, you probably look after the kids, you probably do this, you probably do that, you probably do this, but then you're doing that, which completely writes off these. You know, you can't balance karma. You can't say, oh, just give me a little bit of karma on this bad doing because I'm doing this good. With good, you get rewards. With bad, consequences. Do you understand? Now, if you're doing good on one hand, thinking you're going to level your karma out, the amount of bad that you're doing cancels this good one out. Just writes it off. And there's loads of lads out there who are becoming spiritual in the criminal world, and that's what they think they can do. You know, behind the scenes, they're shifting Kellogg's and Bobby and White. And in the front of it, they've got a little community club going. And they think because they've got the little community club going with this hand, it's going to cancel the comeback off the drug dealing. It doesn't work like that, mate. This will always overpower that. Always. Someone's going sick with the horns, aren't they? Beep it again. Definitely not for me. Darren, do you know Curtis Warren? Paul O'Rourke saying very well explained. I've met him. I've made him a few cups of tea. I've went fishing with him. I've even had a go of a joint off him. Get on that, lad. Been sea fishing with him. I can remember going sea fishing with him to Colwyn Bay. But to say, do I know him? No, I don't know him. I don't know nothing about his personal life. I don't know his family. I don't know his... or anything like that. I don't know him. I've met him. But just because you've met someone doesn't mean you know them. And that's where a lot of people get up. I've got hundreds of thousands of people that know me. Why? Because they met me for half a second in a chippy or a prison. There's only a handful of people that really know me. No one knows me. And I've only just come to that realisation now. No one knows me. Even the people that love me don't know me. Why? Because they're never around me. They're never with me. How do you know someone if you're never with them? What? By the way they speak? I can say anything and regret it 5 minutes later. That doesn't show who I am. You can do the same. You can write your man off, your bird off, and completely regret it later on. So you can't work out verbally how someone is. You can't do it. So if you have a relationship with an inmate like half you daft birds are doing now, you didn't even know him. He's in jail now, you know him. You've got into a routine where he's ringing you every night at a particular time and you've got to be by the phone. And you think you know him because you're speaking to him. And you go up and visit him and you think you know him because you're speaking to him on a visit. And then he does his 5 years, you like a soft cunt waited for 3 of them. Now he's out and now you're getting to know him because he's there and you're not liking it. Why? Because he can chat major and you'll believe it. Because that's how your relationship's built. It's a distant relationship. If you've never been in a distant relationship, it's completely different than a close relationship. Completely, the dynamics and everything's different. Hello Mandy Pa. Do you understand what I mean? Completely different chemistry. So use girls, and trust me, I've been there. I know the tools, I know the methods, the tactics to keep birds on board and get your postal orders sent in. We've all done it. Every lad in prison does it. I've had a bird outside and I've got 3 birds on the go. It's jail. Every lad has got a pen pal in prison. Every single one has got a pen pal in prison. And it happens in the sense like, you know, you might have a mate from Manchester. I'm a Scouser. I've started training with this kid from Manny. He's got his own little group of friends, lads and girls from his area. You're in his cell all the time, you're on your iPhones all the time, blah blah blah, you're speaking. This bird's speaking about you guys, she wants to speak to you later and that, She's on the phone speaking to you, being all raunchy and helping you do what you need to be doing as a man who's in prison. Your bird doesn't even do this with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You ring your bird expecting to get some of that. If your bird is what, you cheeky, put the phone down on you, which you'd expect. So what you do whilst you're in jail, just like you would do outside if your bird weren't giving you what you wanted, you'd get a little slapper. And every lad in prison has got a little slapper. Pen pals they call them. You know, just that bird that can fill the gaps that the other bird's not filling. And some of these birds that fall in love with prisoners, they're so gullible. They're so gullible, mate. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So gullible, mate. You know, I can have a bird on the phone speaking to me and she just likes a bad boy. And I speak bad. And I can say, send me a postal order. And she'll send one. Like that. And another one, girls, what they always use when the junkies in there, they'll ring you. I need data. I need credit. Can you send me a tenner? Can you send me 20 quid so I can get Volta? Can you do... And if they're doing that every day to you, they're just junkies, mate. They're using the fuck out of you. There's loads of used girls sat there living a prison relationship. You don't even know. Sort your heads out like that. There's loads of them in prison. Loads of them, mate. I never done it deliberately. You know, I was married when I was doing my madness with other birds. But my wife went on the missing list. You know, she's getting banged by Michael Riccio and that. You know, Michael Ungy changed his name to Riccio. Getting banged by him and all that. Being a brass for this fake bake. Going to Marbella with the Kinahans and selling her body and all this. Whilst I was married to her. And she went on the missing list for like a good year. Turned all the numbers off. No contact address. No nothing. So in that year, I'm just getting a few birds up to visit me, you know. You know, your Nicola Templetons and... Yeah, you heard that right. I had loads of boss little powerful birds coming to see me. Some of them had fellas. Some what? Half of the ones who had fellas, the fellas were the people that were hating on me. From Scotland Road and mad gas like this. I've got the birds coming to visit me. Works both ways though, you know. All them were banging my wife. You know, so it's, you know, it's balanced.